Maybe she found one at Maria's or Rosa's corpse, and that made her think that Hideyoshi wasn't in his room all the time. I don't know. Vigilia, reconstruct the situation. The guest house after it came to light that Aunt Rosa and Maria had been killed on the second twilight. Oh, understood. Reconstructing now. After Rosa and Maria's death, the remaining survivors rechecked all of the doors and windows in the mansion. They constructed a barricade that reconfirmed that their defenses were solid. There's nothing suspicious about that at all. What are you trying to say? Why are you bringing up the second twilight when we're talking about the fourth twilight and after? Dad carried a portable cigarette butt holder with him. I'm finally starting to see why Kiryu-san went out of her way to put a cigarette butt in her own pocket. It was because that cigarette butt meant something. That cigarette butt was itself a message left by Kiryu-san for us. But then let's hear it. How do you plan to deny me with that single cigarette butt? As we've heard, after the second twilight, an inspection was done of all the rooms in the guest house. At that time, Kiryu-san found something that shouldn't exist in a place where it shouldn't be. Something that shouldn't exist? What do you mean by that? It's this cigarette butt. This was set in the ashtray of the guest room that Uncle Hideyoshi was in. What? What's wrong with there being a cigarette butt in an ashtray? Are you sure there isn't something wrong with your head? Aunt Eva hated smoking. Oh, true. That was even mentioned at the beginning. There's no way there'd be a cigarette butt there while Aunt Eva was sick and sleeping. However, there was a cigarette butt in the ashtray. When she saw that, Kiryu-san noticed immediately. Uncle Hideyoshi was lying. Shit! I see. So Kiryu found it. She realized that Aunt Eva hadn't really been sleeping, and that she had snuck out of the room. Repeat it. This cigarette butt was crushed out in the ashtray of the room where Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi were resting. I refuse. I finally got it. Thank you, Beato. Was I of some use? Yeah, you were. Tear it. We'll tear the mask off of the fake witch. From that cigarette butt, Kiryu realized that Hideyoshi was creating an alibi for Eva's sake. Hideyoshi had been tasked with watching over the room to create an alibi, and during that time he was unable to withstand the tension and smoked. Then Kiryu had confessed that to Rudolph. She confessed that there was a good chance Eva was the culprit and Hideyoshi was an accomplice. Next, Kiryu-san proposed that they go to get food. She then asked Uncle Hideyoshi to lend a hand. This could only mean one thing. Kiryu-san planned to isolate Uncle Hideyoshi and question him about the truth. Your Hempel's raven is valid. Unless the witch side counters this move, the existence of the magic that supposedly controlled Kiryu has been denied. What did you say? I deny it anyway, I deny it. It wasn't me, no. It wasn't Ushinomiya Eva. Eva was sleeping in the room. Then try saying it. Yeah, you can't say it. You can't say it this time either. Repeat it. At that time, Ushinomiya Eva did not take a step outside her room. What the hell is that? I'm the one who was attacking, right? Why am I the one being attacked now? When did offense and defense get reversed? I'm the one questioning you, right? The witch, me, so why? Again, repeat it. Ushinomiya Eva did not leave the room. There's no way you can say it. It's... Checkmate! Does the witch side ever move in response? There cannot be one. There is no truth that can be accepted from a false witch dressed up with truths and falsehoods. You aren't qualified to call yourself a real witch. You aren't the golden witch. You're a human. Ushinomiya Eva. Should have shouted that like Ushinomiya Eva. The witch howled. Her entire body was burned with a tremendous heat that denied her own magic and existence, and she let out a howl like a dragon. Damn! Her body flickered repeatedly, flashing as though Eva's figure and the witch's figure overlapped. Oh. However, that yell was sucked into the flicker, making a return to the original form of the cruel witch. Huh? Now what? Sure. If you want to call me Ushinomiya Eva, then go ahead and do that. That's right, I actually can repulse all moves related to Ushinomiya Eva being the culprit. I may have been dragged down from the position of Golden Witch, and you might call me Ushinomiya Eva now. But you know what? That by itself doesn't mean that witches and magic have been denied. I'll teach you starting now. I'll teach you that I am not Oshidomiya Eva nor a human, but a real witch. Take a look at this red truth. When the witch clapped her hands, time advanced in the world of the game board. Now what? Bettler and Eva dashed to the front of the parlor, calling out Jessica's name. They were searching for Jessica because they had gone to the servant room, found Nanjo's corpse, and didn't know where Jessica was. So what's your point? What are you trying to say? You couldn't be. Oh no. Beato went pale. In other words, the move the evil witch was about to make was bad enough to make even Beato go pale. This time, I'll give you a fatal move that you won't be able to talk yourself out of. Fatality. No, I'll make this move against all humans who support you. Listen carefully to my move. Stop it. That move is... Beato, stay back. I'll take it. Come on, you fake witch. After Jessica was injured, Eva was constantly under Bettler's supervision. Bettler is neither the culprit nor an accomplice. By this we can establish a perfect alibi for Eva. Can we though? Jessica was not... I mean, the only one who really confirmed that Jessica was only heard in her eyes was Dr. Nanjo. Could still be that he lied and she actually had another wound that eventually killed her. What? I'll seal you, and humans as well, in a red barrier that most certainly cannot be escaped from. Farewell, lowly humans. Sleep for all eternity in an absolute closed room of magic with no exits. Come on, listen carefully. Listen to the red truth. There are no more than 18 humans on this island. Yeah, we've had that before. And I have been saying, the fact that she says on this island could mean that there are a few more humans close by, just not on this island. Throw away your foolish thoughts of mysterious people hiding and committing crimes. But if I say it that way, you might also suspect animal culprits. I couldn't stand to hear some irrational theory about how an orangutan trying to commit murder would count as a human. So I'll change it like this. No life forms other than humans have any connection to this game. Yeah, but that doesn't contradict my opinion that there might be another island or place close by where you could have more humans. It could also be that, I mean, she said on this island, but she didn't say below. If you had like a secret laboratory in the ocean under the island, would that still be on the island? I mean, now we're talking semantics, but I guess this is all about semantics in the end. That's how it is. Next, I'll explain the situation of all 18 people who exist on this island. Kinzo is dead. Klaus is dead. Natsuhi is dead. Hideyoshi is dead. George is dead. Rudolph is dead. Kyria is dead. Rosa is dead. Maria is dead. Genji is dead. Shannon is dead. Kanon is dead. Goda is dead. Kumasawa is dead. Nanjo is dead. Those 15 are all dead. And Battler is alive. Eva is alive. Jessica is alive. That's everyone, all 18 of them. Which means that when the last victim, Nanjo, died, only 3 people, Battler, Eva, and Jessica were alive, right? Oh, is that what she was getting at? Who killed Dr. Nanjo? Because, I thought we would find Jessica dead now, and her point was that because Eva was with us all the time, with Battler all the time, who could have killed Jessica? But maybe she was actually talking about, yeah, because since Jessica was injured, Battler was always with Eva, and yet Dr. Nanjo was killed. Oh, then maybe just Jessica killed him. What do you say? Damn it, you don't mean... Eva was with you the whole time, so committing a crime was impossible for her. Of course, Battler isn't the culprit. He wasn't forging an alibi for her, and he took the possibility that she was the culprit into account, watching over her actions carefully. No chance existed for her to do anything suspicious. In short, at the time of the crime, only Nanjo and Jessica were in the servant room. And I know what you're thinking. Your next move will be this, right? There's also a chance that Jessica is the culprit. But too bad, I'll slice it up in red before you try. Bushido-miya Jessica has not committed murder. Well, then Nanjo killed himself. He tripped over his own foot because there was a porno mag on the ground and he really wanted to pick it up. She was not involved with Nanjo's murder. Her eyes were completely covered. It would be impossible for her to carry out a murder like that. And here's a bonus. Neither Aoife nor Butler killed Nanjo, nor were they involved. Wait a second. That doesn't make sense. There were only 3 humans when the murder occurs, and none of those 3 were involved? Did she say that Nanjo was murdered? That's insane. I'll state it clearly. The culprit who killed Nanjo was neither Butler nor Aoife nor Jessica. In other words, it wasn't one of the survivors. Get it? Oh, that's right. What about multiple personalities? Just like how you were originally another personality of Aunt Aoife's, let's say Jessica had another witch-like personality, which took the name of someone other than Jessica and killed Dr. Nanjo. Moron, I've already said it in red. Jessica's eyes were completely covered and murder was impossible for her. No matter what kind of personality she was possessed by, murder could not be carried out with her body. I wonder if you'll be satisfied if I say it this way. No actions caused by Jessica's body had any relation to or influence on the murder of Nanjo. This also applies to Butler and Aoife. In other words, no matter how much you try to struggle in recovering it, neither Jessica nor Butler nor Aoife is the culprit who killed Nanjo. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, everyone else is definitely dead, right? Then all that's left is the Dr. Nanjo suicide theory, right? And the trap theory. The culprit was already dead, but a trap that they had already prepared went off. Nanjo's death was a homicide. What the... Of course it was with a direct method of murder, not a trap. How in the world? A weapon was readied and he was killed with it from point-blank range in front of him. The culprit appeared openly before Nanjo's eyes, and as they both looked at each other's face, the culprit killed him. Okay. Huh? Wait, there are only 3 survivors. You said in red that everyone else is dead. You basically confirmed the life or death status of all 18 people. Furthermore, the existence of a 19th person has already been denied in red. Unless, as I said before, saying that there are only 18 people on this island could mean that there might be others below the island or on another island. In other words, no one can exist except the 3 survivors, and yet a 4th person other than those 3 appeared before Dr. Nanjo. How could a person other than us appear and murder Dr. Nanjo when no 19th person exists? Insane. You're lying. You're lying with red. The red only tells the truth. Isn't doubting that the same as betraying the honor of that who is behind you? Shriveling up in fear of me and hiding behind your back? Damn it. Gotta say though, if the red would not always be telling the truth, saying that the red only tells the truth and red would be kind of pointless. Wait now, I'll state it clearly, the one who appeared in front of Nanjo was me, a witch. You did not say that in red though. The golden witch who can't be explained away with the 18 humans. Virgilia, Renaud, isn't there a contradiction in this situation? Is she really telling the truth with red? Whoa, I think that's the first time I've seen him dumbfounded like that. Yes, a red truth is valid. What the fuck? What an elaborate and precise cornering. How should I make a move against her? Virgilia, are there any moves? I cannot think of anything. And you, Renaud? My apologies. However, in these last 1,000 years, I have never seen such an elaborately beautiful game board laid out. I hate to admit it, but it's beautiful. What a beautiful checkmate, made in red. The witch's teacher and the demon butler were both stunned, and an expression of ecstasy rose to their faces. Not sure if the last line I read was actually Renaud still or Virgilia, but whatever. Forget surrendering, they were impressed at this perfect checkmate, which simply had to be admired. When people accept defeat from the bottom of their hearts, it gives rise to neither regrets nor humiliation. Nothing is born except feelings of respect. I no longer knew what was what anymore. There were absolutely no weak points in her red. She had said in red that all of 15 people had died. She had said in red that no people existed other than the 18. In other words, no more than 3 people, me, Jessica, and Aoife existed. And even though none of those 3 people were the culprit, Dr. Nanjo was killed. And without a doubt, Dr. Nanjo's death was a homicide. He was murdered by that person openly from in front of him. And she's saying that that person is a witch? The culprit who killed Nanjo was not an animal or anything of the sort. That has already been dealt with in Red, right? Everything other than humans has been completely removed from consideration. Even things like robots don't work. Absolutely no factors other than humans participated in this game board. But if you say that in Red, doesn't that mean you just deny witches? Correct me if I'm wrong, but... Therefore, I can also say this. The one who killed Nanjo was definitely a human. But you just said it was you, the witch. Now you're contradicting yourself. A human with their feet on the ground held up a weapon and killed with it. Right before his eyes. However, the human may have been able to use magic. In other words, it was a... what? Yeah, but you're not saying that in Red. So that can't be true. In other words, it was me, the Golden Witch Beatrice. Even as Battler ground his teeth, his knees hit the floor with a thunk. His soul still refused to surrender. However, his knees had already started to accept surrender. Oh, did you kneel? That's right, you're already starting to understand. The Golden Witch does exist, and that Golden Witch Beatrice is me. Come on, praise me. Now praise the resurrection of a true witch. Now praise the resurrection of the Golden Witch Beatrice. On the 9th twilight the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. Damn it. Don't understand. After being so thoroughly immobilized by the red, I don't have a clue anymore. Battler, don't lose heart. You and I promised that we would fight each other again, right? Will you surrender here? Will you disappear in a place like this before fighting with me again? I don't want to break that promise. However, I can't think of any move to deny her. In the first place, this isn't even a puzzle. Nothing exists outside the suspects, and all of the suspects are innocent. I was told that they were innocent in Red, right? I was told that they were innocent in Red, right? And also that it was a real homicide, and that the culprit was human, and that they did appear before Dr. Nanjo's eyes and kill him. I give up, but there's nothing I can do. Please, Battler, don't give up, don't lose heart. Also, I'm just having my headphones half off because I'm hearing something. It might be toothbrush time. Could be that I will have to help briefly with that, but we'll see. Please, Battler, don't give up, don't lose heart. If you stop thinking, it automatically becomes your loss. I'm begging you, don't lose heart. I'm also cheering you on, so don't lose. I can't think of anything anymore. I find myself thinking she's gotta be a witch. We must have done it with magic, which makes all thinking pointless. It's useless, my head hurts, my brain is tired. I'm starting to think that thinking is pointless, so I should just stop. Battler, listen. In the game of chess, both sides do all they can to make the other lose, so a single game takes a long period of time. However, if one side throws away victory from the beginning and makes moves harmful to themselves, the game can end in the blink of an eye. That is called a fool's mate. Is it? A fool's mate is, simply put, a strange way of playing chess in which the fastest methods of losing are considered. Opening the area in front of your own king and inviting the opponent's queen in. Even though the average game time in chess is several hours, a game can be resolved in a scant 4 moves. In other words, if both sides try to win in a fight, they are compelled to take a painfully long period of time, but if one side decides to lose, the game can be ended far too easily at any time. When the human side stops thinking, it hands the problem before its eyes over to the witch, and even an apple falling from a tree can be immediately resolved as the work of magic. It is the same for the witch's side. Witches use the red truth. By using that, they can explain the true form of magic with humans and immediately lose. You don't have to tell me that. You're telling me to not stop thinking, right? However, how should I counterattack that person's perfect bright red move? For me, for humans, it's no longer possible. Is it? Impossible. Is it really? Impossible for you, Battler. Please don't lose heart. Sorry, I've reached my limit. Bettler scratched at the floor, crying heavily. Beato watched that with a distressed face. Then she stood up and spoke to the witch. I will make a move as a counter to yours. Huh? I wonder just how you plan to cut up this perfect checkmate. How can this checkmate, one totally impossible for humans to break, be defeated by the likes of you? But Beatrice, you don't mean to... Indeed. If a human cannot make a move, I will assault you with a move I can use precisely because I am a witch. A move you can use because you're a witch? What are you planning to do? I will use the red to deny witches. Beatrice, milady. The teacher and the butler were both startled. I also immediately understood what it meant. To use the red that only witches could use. To use the red to deny witches, it was like using her own sword to slit her own throat. What? Hey, what are you saying? Deny witches with red? Quit talking like an idiot. If you do that, you won't get away unscathed either. You are not a witch, and I am not a witch either. The road to becoming a true witch is difficult, and I have much, much farther to go. Very well, then. Right here, right now, there have never been any witches in the first place. I will strip this deception away myself. Aren't both of us real obvious witches? Being able to use red is itself proof of witches. I don't know what the definition of a witch is to you, but if you think that you alone will be able to get away unscathed, then... How could I make such a mistake? I care not. What did you say? I never did manage to become a witch. I have done nothing more than finally begin walking down the road to becoming a true witch. If what I am right now is a witch, then I'm a false witch like you, one who is merely drunk on power. Rather than existing in that shabby form, I shall erase this form of mine along with you, without any regrets. Are you insane? Stop it. I still want to be a witch. I hate being human. Witch-sama? Witch-sama, please return to your seat. Please receive the human science counter from your seat. What are you doing? Let go of me. Don't let that woman use the red. Make her stop. Let go. As the witch stood from her seat and tried to spring upon Beato, Renov pressed down on both of her shoulders, forcing her back into her seat. And even after that, he didn't remove his hand from those shoulders. Denying witches was the same thing as denying magic. That included demons such as Renov. However, instead of running away, Renov chose to act as the facilitator for the game and to carry out that duty for his master's sake. Beatrice, you have no regrets, right? That's my line. Sorry, teacher. Even though you taught me so much about fun magic and magic that brings happiness, I wasn't able to use it well at all. So I'll study from square one and start over again. I am truly sorry that you had to suffer for your stupid disciple misconduct. I had a good disciple in the very end. Go do what you believe in. I don't have a clue what you guys are talking about, but I do understand one thing, and I can say this, Beato, I don't know what you're trying to do, but stop trying to do it. You have no moves, but I have one. If we let that move get away, she will be revived as a witch in the truest sense, and this time she will control this whole island. All nightmares will be hers to do with as she pleases, and this island will fall into the deepest hell of the evil witch's repeating delusions for all eternity. What does that even mean, though? Just don't get it. Can you permit that? Don't you care if your dear relatives are toyed with for all eternity in that witch's nightmare? Yeah, I mean, you've done some fucked up shit, but I do have a feeling that she would be even worse. Still, you shouldn't have to sacrifice yourself. This is a game between me and her. You shouldn't have to make your move and sacrifice yourself. I'll think of something. I'll surely think of a miraculous move. So don't rush into it. Ah, damn it. I'll definitely think of one, so don't rush into it. This game is cruel. The time limit for your consideration has already run out. I am now the only one who can do it. Calm yourself, Battler. I'll defeat her. I'll defeat that cruel witch with my own hands. Wait, Beato, stop it, quit it. There's absolutely no need for you to sacrifice yourself. Aren't you fighting to deny me? What a strange person. Huh. True, I mean, she's about to deny herself now, isn't she? Let that child do as she likes, and please watch her until the very end. But, Battler, there's only one thing I ask. Would you cover your ears? Oh. Really? Are you gonna do that now? You're gonna You're gonna not let us hear what you're going to say. My ears? Why? Starting now, I will deny witches in red. I will slice up the game board that she has laid out with her red. By doing that, I will probably lose my form as a witch as well. If you also hear the red truth I speak, you will understand my true form. If you alone cover your ears, the truth will not change at all. However, even so, I want you alone to cover your ears. I at least want to be a witch in your eyes. Please. Beatrice-sama, there are no problems on the witch side. Oh, hell no. One of our cats was about to scratch up a cardboard box that we still need. That's why I said hell no. She was just enjoying using it as a cat scratch thingy. Ikinari neko. Okay. I hope that was enough of disturbances for today. Beatrice-sama, there are no problems on the witch side. Please, your move. Ikinari. Let go! I won't let you get away with this either, okay? She's insane! Do you plan on dying and taking us with you? I think yes. Stop it! Don't deny it! Stop it! How unsightly for a golden witch. Okay, are you ready? I will remove your check-in battler's stead. What happened on the chessboard where 15 died and only 3 remained? Starting now, I will expose it in red. With that red truth, I will pierce and kill both fake witches. Beato turned around and smiled at Balor. Most likely no one would believe that the witch who had gone to the limits of cruelty would try to leave a smile as the last expression she showed Balor, and that smile signified her last wish that she wanted him to cover his ears. Denying witches in red was the same as knowing her shabby form. Balor would put both of his hands against his ears. To protect her final bit of honor as a witch, he put his hands against his ears, rejecting the truth. And he howled, so that not even a bit of what she was saying would slip into his ears. After that was a world where Balor could hear nothing. Beato was saying something in red. Even the evil witch covered her ears at those bitter contents. That was the red truth. Words of power. Words that denied her own existence. Unique words that only witches could use, which denied witches. Beato spoke. With the red truth, she cut up the bright red game board that the witch had released. She explained difficult problems that could not be solved by humans with moves that could only be solved by witches and began cornering the witch. The truth that Balor was not permitted to hear. If Balor had broken his promise and sneakily eavesdropped, in an instant Balor would probably have been able to become the victor in his game with Beato. He would probably have understood all the riddles on the island, all of the magic and tricks, closed rooms, spells, curses, legends, and this entire tale of anger and sadness. Yeah, tease us some more, why don't you? Fuck you. However, Balor would only learn that what that was when he reached the truth by himself. Yes, from the beginning, Beatrice had wished that Balor would reach that truth by himself. It was something one shouldn't reach by being told it. It was a truth that Balor would have to drag himself to by his own power. A brilliant light gathered with Beato and the evil witch at the center and grew gradually stronger. It was the power of truth. Its heat and brilliance, like the sun, shone on all the falsehoods that hid in the darkness, trying to deceive and burnt them to nothing. Why can you die? Why can you throw away your life when you have such incredible power? You hold the power to control gold, magic, and everything at will. Why can you so readily throw that away? Learn that even with a mountain of gold, even with magic to split the sea, there are some things you can never obtain. Come, show yourself. Show your true form, Ushiromiya Eva. When the sun exploded and blew everything away, Eva could be seen there, holding a gun. You're the culprit, Aunt Eva. Took you long enough to notice, Balor-kun. Oh, damn. Holy shit. And then she just shot him. Without any hesitation or mercy, Eva raised her gun and pulled the trigger. As an explosive sound rang out, Battler's heart was shot through, and he fell to the floor. After going into convulsions for a short time with blood dripping from his mouth, Battler died. Yeah, wouldn't it be weird if the game just stopped now? Oh, and she's still alive. Probably not for much longer, though. Shot to death by Ushidamiya Eva inside the mansion, the weapon was a Winchester from Kinzo's collection. Jessica had lost her eyesight, alone with Battler. Wolves and sheep puzzle. Hold on. Okay. But in his last moments, he realized without a doubt that she was a murderer, and not just for killing him. There have been many murders, and I don't have a clue how they were carried out. However, while my ears were covered, Beato exposed all of them with a red, blasting away all magic. In other words, even though I didn't understand it, was that nothing more or less than proof that magic can all be explained with humans? Beato made me cover my ears, so I myself don't know the whole truth. However, now that it's been denied and read, I can see one fact which is extremely unfair for us, that it is possible to deny all magic. So in other words, no, I must not think of that. If I do, then the time I spent covered my ears would be made pointless. If I'm going to regret, I can only regret my own actions. If at that time I had thought of some move to spin things around and counter the witch's final move, there would have been no need for Beato to sacrifice herself. It was my own worthlessness that brought about this conclusion. Even though it was a pitch-black world where nothing could be seen, for some reason I felt Beato's presence right next to me, so I tried calling out to her. You can exchange words with someone whether they're a human or a witch, so even in a world where witches have been denied, I should be allowed to talk to her. Beato? Battler, is it? It's done. I did it. Yeah, I didn't hear it, but I watched you until the very end. I definitely saw you boldly stand up to that evil witch. With this, I am no longer a witch, but I will definitely become a witch again. And then, I will make it so that I can be called the Golden Witch again, and once again, return so that I can be accepted as your opponent. No, you were a witch. Huh? I saw it. When you took that evil witch and blew her away with that awesome magic, exposing her true form, I saw it with my own eyes. That wasn't magic, but the red... No, it was magic. You were definitely the Golden Witch, even if you denied yourself. I'll acknowledge it. You are definitely the Golden Witch. When Battler said those words, in the world that had been dark, there was suddenly a single grain, a small grain of gold, like a wheat seed, shone brightly, and even though it was small, it had a strong gold-colored sparkle. Then it shone on the two of them, sitting with their backs together, so they each became aware of their own form. They did not exist only as consciousness. They became aware that they had bodies and definitely existed. No, perhaps we should say that they each had been given an existence called a body. When Battler looked at his own form, he wasn't that surprised. But when Beato looked at her own form, she was a little startled. From Battler's perspective, she looked just like normal, but for a short while she was surprised by that form. What is going on? The sparkle from that grain of light is slowly getting stronger. That grain of wheat was no longer simply gold-colored, but was like the light of the sun. Then it softly began to approach Beato's chest, when that grain of the sun was sucked inside her chest. The world was wrapped in a deep blue sky, and then a deep blue ocean was spread out below them. An island rose up, trees sprouted and created a forest, walls surrounded us and ceiling swallowed us. All and was adorned with more and more things, made to be like the hall in the Ushidamiya mansion. In the middle of the fantastical hall were many gold butterflies beat their wings. Many tables were set up with white tablecloths like it was a party, and beautiful cooking and fruits were set out. And over there were a great many shapes. It was everyone talking together and smiling. Everyone. There was Dad and Kiryu-san, Uncle Klaus, Aunt Natsuhi and Aunt Rosa, and of course even Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi. George, Aniki, Jessica, Maria. Wait. Even Shannon-chan, Kanon-kun, Goda-san, and Kumasawa-san are here. Everyone was at the party, clapping their hands and celebrating our return. Is this Evangelion now? Just reminds me of the end of Evangelion. Not the movie, but the end of the series, I mean. Why? Even though everyone was dead, why are they alive? In the Golden Land, the souls of all the dead can be revived. Omedetou, exactly. Welcome back, Beatrice, and welcome, Battler-kun. Welcome to the Golden Land. I made it? Made it to the door of the Golden Land?
Yes, my lady, you have finally managed to invite everyone here. Welcome, Battler-sama, to the Golden Land. Battler. Oh, Beatrice. Oh, no, wait, I wasn't supposed to say something else. So you finally made it this far.
Grandfather, where in the world am I?
My blood, which is incompatible with magic, runs most deeply in your veins. Therefore, you are the only one who could not reach the Golden Land, and Beatrice has been searching for you this whole time. She tried everything to bring you here.
What did you say?
Battler-sama, if you would take your seat. Tonight's dinner is my very best work. If you would, please relish it.
You should be honored. Normally, I would have eaten all of it, but I left you some out of gratitude.
The 7 steaks, Nachons?
In the Golden Land, all of those with minds are equal. Here there is no distinction between us furniture, humans, and witches. Battler-sama, we were waiting for you. Welcome to the Golden Land.
Shannon, George, Aniki. Oh, I still feel like this might be a dream. We should have died. But I'm alive. And everyone is here and happy. I can't believe it.
That's right, this place must be a dream world. So it must be a dream that George is acting so friendly with the maid girl. No.
Could you give it a rest, Ava? For now, you gotta stay quiet and bless the 2 young ones. The Golden Land is a city of bliss. We should never quarrel here.
Here, any people are free to love each other. No one needs to hesitate over it. Jessica-chan, Kanon-kun, you look so wonderful. I'm jealous. Hey, Battler, I'm a little,
Battler-sama, welcome, and welcome home. Jessica was probably embarrassed because she was holding hands with Kanon-kun. No, she's not. Look at the picture. She's not. No. Kanon-kun wanted to act humbly like a servant and bow, but since neither of them could let go of the other's hand, he couldn't do it so well, and the whole scene looked fairly comical.
With a servant child, you can't. Our Jessica cannot do such a thing.
It's already a big deal, correct? Let her at least choose the person she likes.
She can't. Ah, Jessica, you can even George.
As Aunt Natsuhi and Aunt Eva hugged each other, they cried tears of regret for their adorable children, even though they had always been at odds. It was a very bizarre scene. Yeah, not just that. Everything.
It isn't really a problem, right? It doesn't matter who likes who. That's right. It's proof that a parent's too attached to their child.
Battler, no matter what kind of woman you bring home, I'll give her a warm welcome, okay?
Don't say that.
Don't you dare introduce her to this man, okay? Whenever you bring your girlfriend over, we'll just lock him up in the closet. He'll get his hands on her immediately. They'll run off together right away. Battler, you finally came here.
Maria, from the very beginning, you knew we'd be coming here.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't scared at all. Everyone was being a coward and trembling. That was funny.
What the hell? Even though I thought you were the most screwed up, you actually knew the truth from the beginning.
How rude. I simply cannot forgive you for speaking of Lady Maria in that way. Formulating firing curve. Attack preparations ready. Lady Maria, we can attack at any time. Meehee.
Would you please not?
Ouch.
Be quiet. You are in the presence of Beatrice-sama. Come now, no need to be so stiff. Let's be considerate of their desire to joke around and have fun. More importantly, why don't we begin preparing for the toast?
Yes, preparations for my excellent mackerel cooking are complete.
No, can we...
I can serve it at any time. Hey, you people, work a little more like furniture. No, I'm gonna stuff myself some more. Wow. Come on, let's work. Don't keep the guests waiting. Let's work studiously and attend to them. Don't let the guests do anything. Make them lazy, make them slothful, fatten them like pigs. Beatrice, Bellicum, this way.
Grandfather and Vajizzle were standing on the landing at the top of the staircase, beckoning to us. Beato and I turned our heads to see what was going on, then climbed the stairs together. I'm just constantly trying to understand what was going on, but okay. From the hall, it looked like a very high stage. A small table had been set up there, as well as a piece of parchment and an old-fashioned quill pen. I saw that strange magical characters in Japanese were written side by side, and below it many names were written. There were 17 of them. Grandfather was the first, and everyone's names had been signed all over it. The people who arrived at the Golden Lamp probably signed this one after another.
Butler, now that you are here, everyone is gathered. Listen carefully.
The Golden Land is not a world supported by the power of magic alone. The cooperation and approval of all humans who receive happiness here is required. For that sake, we must gather the signatures of everyone here.
Last time, the door to the Golden Land was finally opened, but you refused to sign. Although you probably don't remember it. Because you refused to sign, this world was once again sealed in darkness.
Just hearing it like that, it kinda sounds like I'm the only stubborn one, and that I've been a bother to everyone in various ways.
That's because your stubbornness is the real deal. It seems you received more than just blood from Kinzo.
Beato laughed amiably, I think. I should have felt like she was making fun of me, but without thinking I went along with her, laughing and smiling.
Magic is a miracle. Miracles cannot be made complete unless everyone believes. And when you believed in the end, this miracle, the Golden Land, was completed.
Looks like I've been a real pain. So what should I do?
First, sign here. Then Beatrice, you sign here.
Quill pens are pretty hard to use, huh? Whoa, it's shot.
You klutz. Shooting ink is a bad omen. Can't you at least write your name quickly? Your pen is wriggling all over the place like a worm.
You should talk. Don't write it in katakana. Beatrice is a stylish name, so write it in cursive. You're making the quill on your name cry.
Shut up. In school, didn't they tell you not to use cursive on tests?
Hey, this is a solemn ceremony. Be silent.
Very well. We have gathered the 2 signatures as well as the form for the covenant. Both of you, your oath, please.
My oath?
We'll start with Beatrice. Put your hand on the covenant and take the oath. As a good witch, Beatrice swears to continue her studies from this point forth to bring happiness to the people. Say it. Indeed. It's a little embarrassing. As a good witch, Beatrice swears to continue her studies from this point forth to bring happiness to the people. Will that do?
Acceptable. Butler is next.
In the same way, Batlakun, put your hand on the covenant and take the oath. As a member of the Golden Land, Ushidomiya Batler swears to serve for the sake of his own happiness and that of his neighbor.
As a member of the Golden Land,
Ushidomiya Batler swears to serve for the sake of his own happiness and that of his neighbor.
Verse 2. The fuck is going on?
Listen, everyone. Here and now, we have gathered the oath of all 18 humans who accept the Golden Land.
When Kinzo proclaimed that, what the fuck is episode 4 gonna be about now? Is it gonna be a dating sim after all?
When Kinzo proclaimed that, everyone applauded at once, praising us. Since I had been the only stubborn one and had just been a pain, I felt a little bad about being the most celebrated one. And with that, in accordance with the ancient rites, we asked Betlakun, the last to make the oath, to sign the invitation to the Golden Land. This is something that invites the Golden Witch Beatrice to the Golden Land. The Golden Land welcomes the Golden Witch through a consensus of those who have acknowledged it and becomes complete.
Bella, I will read it out loud. Listen carefully. The 18 of us accept Beatrice as the Golden Witch and welcome her to the Golden Land.
What's going on with you? You won't be invited unless I send an invitation.
That does seem to be the ceremony. It feels stiff even to me. Why don't we end it quickly? I've been so hungry for a while now.
Come to think of it, I've only been pecking at canned food and haven't eaten anything good. Let's quickly finish this sign. What's this? I acknowledge you as a witch. Huh? That's pretty simple. Damn you, grandfather, exaggerating it so much. Uh-oh.
Come on, quickly, sign right here. Huh? Quickly, sign.
With slightly weird and uncomfortable smiles, the 2 of them started demanding that I sign. At that time, an incredible sound like that of a glass window breaking reverberated through the hall, and the bustling tumult faded back into complete silence. I dropped the quill pen and turned around, trying to see what had happened. The fuck are you? Who the hell? When I did, where had she come from? A human who clearly hadn't been there a short while ago was in the very center of the hall, looking up at us. Who is that? A girl? She's probably about the same age as Jessica and me, but I didn't know that face. None of the other people here knew that face either.
Who are you? Who is this? Where did you come from? Those without invitations are not needed at my party. Servants, kick her out. As you command, surround her.
The 7 Sisters of Purgatory surrounded her from 7 directions, taking out magic blades that drew pebble curves and blocking her. And from out of nowhere, shuffling goat-head servants appeared in great numbers surrounding that girl. On top of that, the Cheester sisters stood in front of Beato like a wall, readying a golden bow and pulling back the bowstring. But the girl didn't move at all. On the contrary, she was still staring at us on the landing, as though she didn't mind at all. Who is she looking at? Beato? Grandfather? Could it be me? Yes, the girl was staring straight into my eyes, glaring. Then after our eyes met perfectly, she yelled.
You mustn't sign that. Are you going to accept your own defeat? Don't be tricked by the witch.
Huh? By the witch? Huh? At that time, something incredibly strong lifted me by the nape of my neck. What's going on? And after, man, Vigil looks extremely creepy like this. And after being made to turn around behind me, I saw Vigilia with an eerie smile on her face and the muscular forms of goat monsters. A goat monster that looked about 2 meters tall was grabbing me with an arm as thick as a log.
There's no need to listen to an uninvited guest. Come offer your signature as well. On this written oath, Ushidumia Battler acknowledged the existence of witches. Come now sign the written oath.
Damn it, let go. As the goat monsters held me down with the power of a vice, they forced me to grab the quill pen. I couldn't even touch the floor with my feet, much less resist.
Battler, why are you resisting? Weren't you just about to sign willingly? Don't change your mind now after all that, okay? Didn't you think for an instant that it might be okay to acknowledge witches? You thought that, right?
I was tricked? That's insane. Beato isn't that kind of...
Sorry, Battler. I am that kind of person. It's useless now. It looks like sentimental sob stories don't suit me. Teacher, I'm counting on you to use all your strength. That was such a plain role to play, and I got so bored. I don't know who you are, girl, but I'll beat you to death, mash you, and crush you until threads start trailing, okay? I make you regret being born a woman.
As Beato waved her gold pipe, the massive chandelier hanging in the hall was electrocuted, and from that a terrible purple thunderbolt fell. That was loud. Good lord. It should have been a direct hit on the girl right below her, turning her to ash. However, not a single hair was singed. Also, why does everybody have to have unrealistically large boobs? Bit much.
Oh, so your sudden appearance here was just a fluke. Tell me, state your name.
I don't have any name to give you.
More importantly, you idiot! How long are you going to be tricked? You softy, figure it out already. This is all the witch's trap.
Oh. Your sudden appearance here wasn't just a fluke. Did I say was? Sorry. Those words were aimed at me. This is all the witch's trap, she says. That can't be. Beato reformed and swore to become a good witch. Beato, all this is about traps. It's a lie, right? Please tell me it's a lie.
Sorry, Battler. It was pretty fun.
Sure, I just did what teacher told me, but look how great it turned out. Apparently, to start out all hostile and needlessly brutal, then turn incompetent, and soft at just the right moment, you can spark a huge bump on your affection meter, right? I've heard villains who start all lovey-dovey and then freak the shit out are all the rage these days, right? Even I've studied a bunch of those manga, anime, and gouge that have been so popular lately, you see?
And for you, just as expected, it was tears, please, and you're down. Idiot. What a truly simple person.
I'll call this the North Wind and the Sun strategy.
That's not... Damn you. You bastard. How could you trick me?
Yes, that expression suits you the most. That caring expression of yours really doesn't suit me after all. It made my back itch, and I was frantically trying not to let it get to me. Too bad, witches never reform. You take care of the signature, teacher. This uninvited guest is my prey. Come, you can no longer refuse to sign. Come on, look. Sign it and offer your body, your mind, and your soul.
When Virgilia lifted her chin as a signal, the goat monsters with an even more vise-like power forced my arm to approach the parchment. These guys are trying to make me sign, even if it breaks my arm. Then a bright red light burst open with me at the center, knocking the witches and the goat monsters away. Did that girl save me? But who in the world is that? I don't have a clue.
How long do you plan to keep playing in a place like this?
Give it a rest. I'm jealous of you. Just for Christian. Oh, it looks pretty cool in the PS3 version as well. But I like this one too. I'm glad you saved me, but that's a pretty cool way to say it. Also, she has the same hair color as Battler. Just realized that. Is she related to him? How would she? I mean... First of all, Kyria had a miscarriage at first, and also... I don't know. Maybe she's she's Rose's husband, and then he had his sex change. That explains everything. It's Rose's husband who then underwent surgery. Yeah, maybe not. I'm glad you saved me, but that's a pretty cruel way to say it. Sorry, but who are you?
Witch of Rokkenjima, give him back. Who would do that, you fool? Peddler is my toy, my most favorite toy in the world. I won't get tired of him, I won't throw him away, and I won't hand him over to anyone. Even Peddler is enjoying this to the fullest. Together with me, he is having so much fun playing. No matter who you are, I won't let you get in the way. Yeah, it looks like you're having a lot of fun. It makes me so jealous it ticks me off. Here you are in a place like this, guffawing and having a loud, noisy time with everyone. With all these beautiful witches around to pamper you, you must be having so much fun that you don't even want to go back. Are you talking to me? Wait, you've got the wrong idea. This is a pain for me, too. What do you mean, fun? You don't know what I've been through. What you've been through? You had fun living with Mom and Dad. You played around with all of the cousins. And you get to play with these wacky witches for all eternity. She said Mom and Dad. Don't you recognize the happiness you have? Can't you see how jealous I am of you all? So much that I wish I could join in too. I'm sorry, but I'll have to turn you down here. There, I am satisfied with the toy I have. A rude toy like you is not fitting for my toy box. I mean, Bella was pretty rude as well, so that doesn't make sense. Yes, I understand. Who would ever play with someone like you? But I will thank you just a little for letting me meet everyone like this. Who the hell are you? You couldn't be... I see, is that it? Yes, I understand. I know who you are. I see. So you are the piece Lady Bernkastel threw in. How amusing. I'm sorry, what? Why don't I formally invite you to my party? I'll welcome you fully. Along with Battler, I play nicely, break you, kill you, crush you, turn you to ash, mix you with bread dough, and bake you until you're fluffy. Ah, it's useless. It's all useless. You can't do that. On the Rokkenjima of 1986, I'll expose everything that happened to the light of day. I'll show you that before the truth, you're like an icicle scared of the coming spring. Prepare yourself, Golden Witch. Beatrice. I like the new Battler. Can we just have her now? Died on the ninth twilight. We haven't... It even looks like Evangelion now. Eva Beatrice with EVA written. Ushiro Miya Anji?
Kinzo. Aoange.
Kraus, Natsuhi, Jessica.
Returned alive. Nanjo Terumasa. I'm not sure. Did I ever read his last name? Ronov Genji? Hold on. I'm sorry, what? Did that just say Ronov Genji? Does that mean Genji's first name is Ronov? Are they the same person? Virgilia Ronov? What the hell? Oh no, there's Ronov again. That probably was Virgilia and then Ronov. And it always said Ronov Genji? It did? Well, I guess I never paid attention to that before because Ronov just appeared. I was about to say recently. I guess recently is not the right word, but you know what I mean. Oh no, get the Cheester sisters away from here. They're in the wrong anime. All of the goats. That's something I never expected to read in a credit roll. Lambda Delta Brancasto. Third game. Banquet of the Golden Witch result. Oh no, I cannot stop it this time. And so the Golden Land once again crumbled into the darkness. However, Victor finally appeared in the game with the Golden Witch. The victor's new Golden Witch Eva Bridges. With she himself the riddle of the gold before it happens. The typical attack. When the seagulls cried, there was one survivor. Good lord. I should rap that. No, I cannot rap. So I did think of quite a few ways episode 3 could end, but this was clearly not one of them, even remotely.